Howdy, mates. Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, January 7th, 2020. I'm out visiting Routzong Preserve, which runs to the east of Greenville, just along State Route 571 that you can actually see just out there. And in terms of where it's relative to of another location, it's near the Bears Mill, actually. So the purpose of this video is I want to cover a little bit of winter tree identification. And matter of fact, yesterday I actually had the honor of leading a winter tree hike at Routzong Preserve, which is basically on the other end of Greenville. It was, I will admit, a little tricky just to make sure that the information that I was presenting was accurate. However, though, I only wish the weather was a bit warmer because I actually had more facts that I wanted to share. But it was the first interpretive tour that I did in about 14 or so months. So, it initially wasn't very easy, but it actually was really good. It was a good turnout. So without further ado, I'm going to just go straight into it. All right, mates. All right. So this one is This one's very easy. This is the American beech right here. And same thing. It's easy to identify because of its smooth bark on it. And another trick to help identify this tree is it still has its leaves. And when the American beech reaches a stage in its life, it actually won't release its leaves until it approaches the springtime. Now, in terms of exactly why it does that, I don't fully know, but that's just a common characteristic of the tree. Okay, so what I wanted to point out next, this little guy right in front of me, I believe this is an Ohio Buckeye. And you may be curious, how do I know that? Well, another trick to identifying trees during the winter is you also want to try looking at the twigs and the buds on them. So with this particular Ohio Buckeye, also known as the Aesculus glabra by the scientific name, you can see, let me see if I can find a good one. You can see right here, you can tell that both of these twigs that lead to the terminal bud, which in other words is the ending point, they're exactly opposite of one another. And you can see this same exact pattern with only 3 other types of trees, which include the maples, the ash, dogwood, and the buckeye. So a good acronym to help memorize that is Mad Buck. It's just creative, you know. I mean, it wasn't something I made up. That's something I found on the Department of Natural Resources. But that's one way to remember. But basically, all the other types of trees, the buds will have a tendency to alternate with one another. They won't be directly opposite of each other. Okay, so let's continue. I mean, and usually another good way, too, to know, is, of course, looking at the bark. So, I have the contention that this tree here, it's possible, just based on a little bit of the shagginess and little bit of the color to it. It's reasonable to say that this could be, and you know, looking at the twigs way above me, it's reasonable to say this could be a red maple. And then you can also kind of see, like, you know, if we look in a little bit, it's a little tricky. I don't know if I'll be able to, yeah, like right there, kind of has a little bit of that red color to it. So, alright, thought I would share that piece with you guys. I might actually make another video, because I'm starting to realize this video is a little too long. So, stay tuned for the second video. Make sure to look for it. And once again, Journey on a Journey is out. Take care, folks.